but it doesn't matter. None of those teams are undefeated, unlike what we have right now in college hoops.
We do. We have 3 undefeated teams, Chad. We have number 1 Syracuse Orangemen, number 4 Baylor Bears, and 19 Murray State Racers.
Rob, you and I are very familiar with the Murray State Racers. Is that accurate?
No.
Thanks, B.
Only in that they were a rival of the school that we went to that apparently we had a good basketball team.
At some point, Austin Peay had a good basketball team. And the team that was favored to win the OVC this year, Austin Peay, is now 3-13 after Murray State came to Clarksville, went 16-0. Stephen, I look at all 3 of these undefeated teams in college hoops, and this is the first time we've gone into college hoops this season, and why not? We got 3 undefeated teams. All of them have legitimate scoring offenses, averaging anywhere from 76 to 80 points a game. Their defenses are giving up anywhere from 58 to 60 points a game. So a well-balanced, all 3 teams are winning by an average of 17, 18 points a game. Problem is, can any of them run the table? Only 1 college football team ran the table, and three basketball teams, I don't see it happening. But if you had to choose any one of these 3 teams to run the table based on their conference, based on who they've played so far, who would you say is the best team?
Well, I'm going to have to say Murray State has the best chance to go undefeated.
That is true.
I mean, they're playing Austin Peay.
And the Ohio Valley Conference.
Exactly. I mean, the next few games, Jacksonville State, Tennessee Tech. I mean, one's 6-12, Tennessee Tech 11-6. They're scoring 76 points a game, only giving up 60. That's not too shabby. I mean, I know they're not playing a good conference, but that's still pretty good basketball.
Yeah, I mean, and look what happened with the Ohio Valley Conference last year. Morehead State went into the tournament. They won a first-round game. They looked impressive. The conference is getting better. Murray State, I agree, has the best chance. But the team that's ranked number 1 in the nation, the Syracuse Orange, all of the controversy that they've had with their coaching staff this year, it doesn't matter. Chris Joseph has been a stud, the senior forward, averaging 14 points a game, almost 5 rebounds a game, and the sophomore center, Fab Mello. If you don't know these names, grab a newspaper. Every time you look at the box score, Chris Joseph, Fab Mello, and the Syracuse Orange are just rolling teams. They've started Big East play, and this is usually where they stumble. Jim Boeheim gets them to a point where they roll the first part of the season, and then they stumble in the Big East. They haven't done that yet. A recent game, a 73-66 win over Marquette. They play at Villanova this week. They play Providence again this week. They don't play anybody big. I see Syracuse going at least one more week of being undefeated.
Yeah, they can go 1 week, but can they go undefeated the whole year?
If anybody can go undefeated in the Big East, they deserve to be, I don't know, let's say, like an SEC football team. They deserve to be automatically in the national championship game. But unlike college football, they actually play a tournament in college basketball. We won't talk about that at this point. There is also one more undefeated team out there.
The Baylor Bears, averaging 76 points a game, giving up 58 a game. They look pretty impressive to me. They have
Percy Jones has been the star so far. The sophomore, 13 points a game. But I mean, there's another guy, the senior.
Yeah, Quincy Adams, 12 points, 7 boards.
I mean, here's the thing with Baylor, and we're going to talk about them, and maybe by the time our fans are listening to the show, I mean, they have a game on the 10th against Kansas State, who knocked off Missouri, who we were going to talk about because they were the only undefeated team. But they are shooting the ball well. The team is averaging over 50% shooting. They play Kansas State this week, who's 12-2. They play Oklahoma State this week, who's 8-7. That Big 12 conference, the Big East conference, those are tough conferences. Honestly, those are the 2 conferences that give a Kentucky in the SEC, a Duke in the ACC fits. And those 2 teams, they're my preseason favorites to meet for the national title already, and it's only early January.
Yeah, but what we're talking about, who's going to go undefeated in the regular season, Chad?
Well, that's true. That is true. But I want to predict the Syracuse Baylor, so when we get to the national title game, Moses can come from the clouds and tell us not to talk about the game like he did last week when we were going to talk LSU Alabama. Got an email this week from our loyal listener Donasis, who wrote to us and said, Stephen, how do you think that the LA Lakers are old? You're calling us out and saying the Lakers are old. Well, Thanasis, I'm handing this one over to Steven because the proof is in the pudding, baby. The LA Lakers are old. Steven, explain.
Thanasis, I just go, I just look at the team and I go by their age. If you're, 19, 20, 21, maybe 24 like Andrew Bynum, that's great. You're a young guy. But when you get over 30 in sports, you're old. You start to break down. Let me give you a couple names and just you can decide for yourself. I'm just going to give you the facts. Kobe Bryant, 33. He's been hurt. His knee's been hurt. Is he going to be full strength? How long can he last? Derek Fisher's 37. I mean, I don't even know how he's not bringing a walker out there every game. I'm just confused about that. Paul Gasol's 31. Okay, he's old. He's getting there.
He's aged.
Luke Walton? Does he even play? But he's 31. I've never seen him. And Meta World Peace, 32.
We're on our test.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that are over the age of 30, and I have one at 24. I don't know. It sounds old to me, Danasis.
Thanks. I feel much better now.
Well, let's make things a little bit better, Rob. But let's go into our Sports Jam Weekly Triple-Double. Western Kentucky fired head coach Ken McDonald on January 6th after a 5-11 start, capped by a chaotic ending to a loss the night before. In that game, after a timeout, in the closing seconds of overtime, video showed the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana Lafayette broke their huddle with 6 players. Alfred Payton hit a layup with 3 seconds remaining to win the game. The 50-year-old Harper was 342-63 as a coach, but his inability to stop a 6-man attack by the Raging Cajun, his 63rd loss as the Hilltoppers coach, was his last. Boy, ain't that fair?
On Monday, Major League Baseball announced the newest inductee to the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, and they decided to elect a man with 5 gold gloves, 4 silver sluggers, 2 MVP awards, 2 home run titles, 2 RBI titles, 161 career stolen bases, 2,111 hits. No, wait, that's Dale Murphy. I'm sorry. They elected a man with 7 gold gloves, 3 silver sluggers, an MVP award, a home run title, 2,160 hits, 230 career stolen bases. Now that's Larry Walker. How about 2,605 hits and 808 stolen bases? No, that's Tim Raines, who of course is the greatest leadoff hitter of all time, who's not named Ricky Henderson. Let's see. Here we go. They elected a man with 3 gold gloves, 8 silver sluggers, an MVP award, 2,340 hits, never led the league in anything. Well, that would still be Barry Larkin. Actually, about those silver sluggers, who exactly was the competition for those anyway? Ozzie Smith? Rafael Belliard? Oh, I got it. Andujar Cedeno. No, don't get me wrong. I think Larkin does deserve to get in after Dale Murphy and Larry Walker and Tim Raines and Jeff Bagwell and Lee Smith, and I could keep going, but we've got a time limit on the show.
Atlanta fans, do you know who Marty Schottenheimer is? 62% winning percentage in Cleveland, 64% winning percentage in Kansas City, 59% winning percentage in San Diego, 13 playoff appearances in 20 years. However, in the playoffs, 5-13, a 28% winning percentage, and fired for these failures. Why do I bring this up? Atlanta head coach Mike Smith is 43-21, 67% winning percentage in the regular season, but 0-3 in the playoffs. Great regular season coach that choked in the playoffs. Time for the Falcons to reconsider their coaching job, especially after scoring, or should I say, handed 2 points in their loss this week to the New York Giants.
This past Sunday, TNA Impact's Genesis pay-per-view kicked off the wrestling year, and were any belts exchanged during the competition? No. Did any fights go any differently than anyone with a brain had planned? No. Were there any real surprises? Nope. So, those of you who think that Impact can't hold a candle to WWE, sounds to me like they're doing exactly the same thing. So since there's not really anything to report here, I'll leave you with a math problem. Carol Channing plus Tatum O'Neal should equal Channing Tatum, right?
Sports Jam will be back next week with another knockout episode. But until then,
follow us on Twitter at TR Sports Jam, friend us on Facebook, or email us at therealsportsjam@gmail.com.
Thank you to our sponsor, the Danny Nagy Band. Until next week, Sports Jam, we're out.
in next week when you'll hear Nurse Janice say,
"Oh no, Chad's fallen down a well. Quick, girl, go get help."